In 1994, Sensible Software, the masterminds behind Sensible Soccer and Cannon Fodder, took one last swing on the Amiga with Sensible Golf. For fans of the studio, it was a bittersweet farewell. As a kid, I'd spend hours glued to leaderboard golf on my Commodore 64, obsessing over club selection, wind and perfect putts. I loved the precision, the strategy, the satisfying arc of a ball sailing towards the hole. So when I picked up Sensible Golf, I was excited, but immediately aware that this wasn't the golf I knew. From the outset, the game carries the studio's unmistakable stamp. Tiny, expressive characters populate the fairways, each customizable with hair, skin, shirt and trouser colours. You can even model them on yourself or your friends. A few of these are Patreon and YouTube members in fact. The courses are plentiful, 25 in total, built from 72 holes, but a closer look reveals that many holes are just clever variations of the others. Still, with changing weather, trees and background details, there's enough variety to keep things interesting as you progress through a season or two. The game is deceptively simple. You start a shot, set the power and fine-tune accuracy using a semicircular speedometer style dial. The red zones give a straight shot, yellow allows a hook or slice. Okay, well, that's the theory. In practice, terrain, club choice and the oddities of the course can manoeuvre even the simplest drive into a bunker, a pond or an entirely different location than you intended. Trees behave oddly, sometimes stopping a ball mid-branch, other times letting it roll through without incident. The in-game caddy will occasionally hand you a putter yards from the green, or a wedge when you're right on it. It can be maddening, but there's something strangely entertaining about watching these tiny golfers navigate oversized hazards in their playful little world. Holding down the fire button for a couple of seconds brings up a minimap, which sounds handy in theory, but is completely useless in practice. You can't zoom in, it's not very accurate, and more often than not it just confuses things further. Getting the timing right on the controls takes a bit of practice. Nailing the power dial is tricky, but absolutely necessary. Also, you might find that the map has a mind of its own too, sometimes vanishing just when you need it, forcing last-second improvisation. Frustrating as hell back in the day. Those wonky, unpredictable shots that had me yelling at the screen are now genuinely funny. A reminder that Sensible Golf, a little bit unlike its name, was never aiming to be a serious golf simulator. Putting in particular can also be a challenge. The top-down view means slopes aren't always obvious, and the tiny arrows pointing out the terrain can only do so much. A putt that looks simple might betray you, turning what should have been a birdie into a double bogey, while a desperate chip might somehow land perfectly with a bit of luck. There's no wind, no stance adjustments, and no realistic physics to worry over. Stripped of realism, the game lets these little moments of unpredictability shine, and in hindsight, they're more charming than frustrating. I'd play Sensible Golf with my friends back in the day, and up to 4 players total can compete in stroke play or match play tournaments, with some sessions stretching for days, weeks, or even months if you had enough willing participants. The leaderboard and cash prizes gave a sense of purpose, but the real fun comes from the times I'd watch my brother's shots veer wildly. We do play more modern golf games together nowadays, but I do recall we had some fun with this one too. Each round was a mix of laughter, friendly rivalry, and memorable moments, where a spectacular miss-hit can be just as entertaining as a perfect shot. Visually and audibly, the game is pure Sensible. Tiny, expressive characters, simple arcade-style graphics, and reactive sound effects make every swing feel lively. Musical cues, snarky on-screen commentary, and occasional exclamations punctuate miss-hits, adding personality to what could otherwise be a tedious round. The holes themselves are eccentric, packed with sand, water and trees, seemingly designed to provoke frustration as much as to test skill. But looking back, that unpredictability is part of the enjoyment. It's obvious that Sensible Golf was never trying to mimic the precision of PGA Tour golf. There's no detailed club management, no wind to factor in, no complex ball physics. And honestly, that's what makes it so entertaining. With its playful unpredictability, focus on enjoyment and rewards for trial and error, the game has a character all in its own. Tiny golfers, ridiculous hazards, and surprise outcomes combine to create an experience that could frustrate you at the time, but now feels genuinely amusing in hindsight. Looking back, Sensible Golf feels like a cheeky farewell from a studio that defined the Amiga era. Well, unless you count Sensible Trainspotting. It's not the polished golf I spent hours dreaming about as a kid, but it's overflowing with personality, humour, and a sense of joyful absurdity. The highlights, the ball bouncing off a tree, a miraculous chip, or watching a friend completely fluff a match play round, remind you that games can be fun, even when far from perfect. It may not be a simulator, it may not be serious, but it is undeniably sensible. And that mix of unexpected moments and playful absurdity is exactly what makes it worth remembering, even if some reviewers completely canned it. Get it fired up on your Commodore Amiga and give it a whirl. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and let us know your thoughts on Sensible Golf down in the comments. Your support means the world, so don't forget to subscribe for more retro goodness. Check out our playlist for more Commodore classics, and stick around. Another one's coming up right after this. If you want to help keep the channel rolling and get a few extra treats along the way, consider checking us out on Patreon. Hopefully, I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, bye for now. You wanna play golf? You wanna play golf? Do you wanna play golf? You wanna play